is going on, everyone? Welcome to this episode of the CryptoMood podcast. We have a really interesting episode coming up for you guys today. So, two of the most exciting things coming to the crypto space are one, the integration of artificial intelligence, and two, the improvement of fiat to crypto and crypto to fiat gateways. And here with us today, we have two individuals from two companies, two platforms that are doing tremendous strides to solve both these issues and really push the space forward into a really, really exciting time we're entering. So we have with us today Amir, CEO and founder of CryptoMood, as well as Guilherme, the CBDO of Indacoin, which is basically a fiat to crypto on ramp that is really efficient. And we also have CryptoMood, which is an artificial intelligence indicator sentiment analysis tool. So really two exciting technologies, got a really exciting episode here on tap. Let's go right into it. And let's start with you first, Amir. Tell us a little bit about CryptoMood and what it does.
Thanks, Ezra, for a word. Thank you for the introduction. So CryptoMood gathers data from tens of thousands of different news sources and social media and blogs and analyzes the market sentiment, which means the psychological kind of feeling of the writers, and market impact, which is our own indicator or our own metric, how to evaluate how the particular news article will impact the price of the asset. So it means when article is writing about some exchange hack which has like zero sentiment because the author is trying to be very like professional, sentiment is zero, but the market impact is very negative. So that means the hack of the exchange is or statistically impacts the price negatively mostly.
Okay, right.
So this
So
is
yeah,
in short terms. Yeah.
okay. Yeah, and that's really important because one of the reasons trading and reading the markets is so difficult is because it's really hard to tell which articles, what kind of news is actually going to have an impact creating sentiment and what's just kind of, not going to be of any significance. And why don't you tell us a bit about how you came up with the idea of creating CryptoMood?
So in different markets, for example, in stocks and commodities, there is already plenty of news aggregators and similar tools for aggregating and analyzing news articles and social media. But at the time when CryptoMood was somehow like started, there was nothing like this for crypto market. And from far as we did our research, the news were the most important mover of the price. So also there is a new article on AMB Crypto describing that the news articles were the most important movers during the last year. And also I saw that many people are trying to build their own bots and data mining tools and somehow try to trade based on the news articles and social media. So we just sit here in the office and talk to the guys like, hey, let's create this platform for everybody and create this widget and the platform and the API so everybody can utilize that.
Okay, very interesting. Yeah, indeed, there are a lot of bots, a lot of, there's a lot of noise to sift through with all the news and all just the chaos going on in the market. And this does, it is indeed a really useful tool, especially when you combine artificial intelligence with it. You're absolutely right. So, tell us a bit about what its main utility is, like from a user standpoint for crypto projects as well as how can you actually use the information that your widget provides.
So the widgets are somehow trying to represent the actual data to the users. So what it does is that shows all these numbers and metrics into some very simplified form. For example, we build a market crypto fundamentals widget or top 10 most impactful Twitter accounts. So there is many ways how to represent this data, and we are still building a new widgets for this.
Okay, interesting. Yeah, that's a good idea. Because yeah, there's definitely some Twitter accounts that can that really move the market at times. And I have used your app many times, and I do see you do a great job at keeping track of all the important tweets. So that's very good. Now tell
Mhm.
us specifically as it pertains to Indacoin, because we have a partnership with Indacoin now, and we have Indacoin here on this podcast as well. How exactly does your widget implement on Indacoin, and sort of what magic can it do? How does it help? How does it relate to Indacoin?
Yeah, so we created three widgets for Indacoin. It's news ticker, which shows the most popular articles of past 24 hours. Mood Cloud, which shows the most commonly used hashtags on social media for crypto. So, for example, when something new pops up on the social media, it already has a big like bullish drive on the of hashtags, and also sentiment slash news widget for like general overview of the current sentiment and market impact. So
Oh,
it
okay.
means like once user use this widget, they can see everything which happened during past day in single screen.
So, for example, if I were to want to buy Bitcoin, even from fiat on Indacoin, and I wanted to know if it was a good time to buy, you're having your crypto mood on there and being able to see the analysis would give me better information as to knowing if I should buy right now, what the sentiment is like. Is that correct?
Yes, but it's additional decision support system, so you should also consider another factors. But for example, we build our own trading strategy based solely on social sentiment and news sentiment, and we made 12.5% per year revenue. So, and it was based purely on the sentiment and market impact metric, so
Okay.
nothing else.
Right, interesting. And that's a good point there that you should never ever just, completely base your decision off any one source because as we always have to emphasize in these kind of events, nothing this is a good time to just emphasize that none of this is professional financial advice of any kind, and you should always do your own research. So, okay, cool. So, William, welcome to the Crypto Mood podcast. Great to have you here. Why don't you tell us a little bit about how you found out about crypto?
Hi Ezra, thank you. It's a great pleasure to be here today. About CryptoMood, we actually met the very first time last summer in Barcelona at the BTC conference, and they had CryptoMood. They had a stand there, and we discussed and we had good synergies together. And after that, we saw that there could be a potential partnership there, and we didn't start anything on the spot, but later on we met again several times in Moscow, in Malta, and the CryptoMood team is really friendly, so we really spent great time together, and after several discussions we decided to begin partnership together.
Okay, okay, great, interesting. Yeah, they definitely are a very friendly bunch. I actually kind of had a similar experience, met some Crypto Mood members in Malta as well, and yeah, here we are still today, right?
Mhm.
So now tell me, how do you think Crypto Mood can be useful for Indacoin specifically?
Well, for us specifically, it's extremely useful compared to regular crypto exchanges because, as you mentioned earlier, our exchange is focused on fiat to crypto with Visa and MasterCard. So our target audience are people that are not very familiar with crypto, and many times it's even the very first time they are buying crypto in their life. So for them, they don't know much about the market. They just want a simple way to buy. But with this tool that CryptoMood is providing, they will also be able to make their own analysis. So it will not just be like a bet on some random coin, and they actually can base their decisions in real data from real time. And I think that is great for people that are just entering this field because it can be quite aggressive, quite complicated, all this technology. So it basically simplifies everything, and our partnership complements each other, basically.
Okay, okay, great. So basically, it's more efficient than regular exchanges. It gives users more information as they before and when they make the decision to
Hmm.
buy.
Yeah,
And yeah,
it's
I do agree with you. I've used it a couple times. Yeah.
yeah, it's not just the decision itself, but they could go to other exchanges and they would see like very complicated trading tools, and they would probably feel too afraid to even make some investments. So in this way, both our platforms are very user friendly. So I think that's the main point of synergies.
Right. And as you said, your Indacoin is more geared toward retail investors, which means it's going to be people who perhaps don't know how to read a chart, read, a million complicated indicators, but anyone can just see a news article, and the really user-friendly interface on CryptoMood just shows you, what the article says, if the mood is negative or positive. It simplifies it a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Cool, cool. Now, do you personally think there is a connection between market mood and the price of crypto?
Yes, I definitely believe so. Of course, in crypto, there are many variants that affect the price, and there isn't just one factor that will influence. There are so many, and it also depends on the coin, on the project itself, on the team that is behind. But as we have seen in the past, usually the coins that are the most popular ones are the ones that grow the most. So, Bitcoin, for instance, everyone knows that it's not the fastest blockchain, it's not the most efficient, however, is the most popular, meaning that it's the one that is being mentioned the most throughout social media channels, throughout the internet itself.
Yeah, yeah, true, true. And yeah, you're right. That's a very good point actually. That we all know to the pain of some, altcoin traders, Bitcoin does dominate the market whether we like it or not. And popularity, branding, sentiment, reputation, that all has to do with it. Now, you run your platform for quite a while, as I understand. How long has Indacoin um been around, let's say?
Well, Indacoin started late 2013, and
Okay,
we,
wow.
we we initially started as a regular cryptocurrency exchange. But after we saw that there was a lot of potential for Visa and MasterCard payments, since it's like the most common method to pay on the internet and the simplest one. So we
Mhm.
developed the platform, and we were actually the very first provider of such gateway in this market. And yeah, for until today, we are one of the global leaders in providing such gateways for other businesses as well, not just our own website and wallet. Currently, we have more than 65 partners that are using our white label gateway. And yeah, that's about it.
What was 65, did you say?
Yeah, more than
Okay,
65.
wow, wow, very, very impressive. And I want to touch on this a bit because I was genuinely curious about this myself. How exactly were you able to solve the problem of, because for example, if you go to Coinbase, if you go to some other more well-known fiat to crypto gateways, it's a really long and tedious process. I'm sure you know with Coinbase, you can buy it with your card or with your bank account, but it takes
Mhm.
days, and you have to buy it at a certain price. You can't sell it for a while. It sits in the account. It's really just a big hassle for most users. How was your platform able to solve this problem? Like I read on your website, I believe it the transaction can get done as quick as 15 minutes.
Mhm.
How are you able to do that? How are you able to
Yeah.
bypass all the
So
problems that have plagued other? Yeah,
yeah,
go ahead.
that's a great point that you raised, and it indeed was a crucial point in order to make our users more satisfied. So what we did was the following. First of all, we stopped requiring any type of registration. So the user basically doesn't need to create an account within the coin in order to buy crypto. So he can directly choose which currency he wants to buy, uh, just put his wallet address, pass the KYC, and that's it. So in regular exchanges, they'll have a double KYC. So there is the KYC from the platform itself, and then there is the KYC from the gateway provider. So in our case, we also recommend to our partners that there is no point to request for another additional KYC, since ours is very simple. The user just needs to take a selfie holding his ID and upload it. So
Wow. Okay.
in some cases, it can even be done in less than 10 minutes. And starting from the second transactions, they don't need to do the KYC again. So it will be even just 1 or 2 minutes, like just literally the time of putting the card details and receiving the crypto in their wallet.
Okay, I want to clarify something real quick. So you said the second time they don't have to go through even the KYC again, but if they don't create an account on Indacoin, how does your platform remember that user? Does it just remember that photo was taken, or how?
It's by the cards. So if the user
Oh,
is using
okay.
the same cards, we will recognize it, and the KYC will not be required unless the user uses a different card. Then we will have to do another KYC.
Right. Right. Okay, so it's linked to the card. Makes sense. Well, that sounds really promising. I'm actually thinking about heading over there and buying some crypto myself after this
Mhm.
podcast is over because I personally myself have been through the hassle of Coinbase. I'm sure you guys understand just how much of a tedious process it is. The KYC whatnot was such a big headache. So this sounds extremely promising. So, as it pertains to social media and news, sentiment. This has been a big topic in this podcast. Since you've been running your platform since 2013, and I assume you guys were there, maybe through the Mt. Gox hacks, through the epic 2017 bull run we had, just through so many major peaks and cycles in the market. Have you noticed any correlation between social media news and the impact on the price of crypto?
Yeah, indeed. Over the years, we have seen lots of correlation between the news and the price. It was a crazy journey. But from this moment, I can remember the day that Facebook and Google decided to ban all the advertisements of crypto in their platforms. So these were huge news, and for cryptocurrency, it was really bad. So I remember the market fell for all the coins, and the people started purchasing much less than before. And basically,
Yes.
these social networks such as Facebook and Google, they give you the ability to reach billions of people, and
Yes.
they just blocked it. So by blocking it, you don't have that ability anymore. So it's not just about the negative reviews and articles that they wrote that these big enterprises are not supporting cryptocurrency, but at the same time, we started reaching way less people than before. So you have seen that the price of Bitcoin went to nearly $19,000-$20,000, and then from that moment, the governments and all these big companies, they realized that they were also facilitating through the internet. And when they made that, we really felt it that just people lost some interest. There was a lot of negativity going around, but now, small by small, things are also getting better.
Right, right. Oh yeah, that's I think that's a great example. Definitely I can see the direct correlation there. It's not just, one misleading piece of article that gets spun out of context and goes out of control. This is like a great example of just a real life scenario where something directly affects, as you said, if billions of people can't access it, that cuts out billions of potential buyers right there.
Mhm.
So absolutely that would have an effect on the price. All right, so we're gonna move on to more some general questions right now, and this is for you, Amir, but feel free to jump in any time as well, Guilherme, if you would like to add anything. I'd like to talk a bit about Indacoin enabling bank card payments. So Amir, um, Indacoin does enable bank card payments, which makes it easier for people to buy crypto. Now, in your opinion, do you think this is a good idea?
Yeah, definitely. Like also skipping the KIC, it's a great thing. and whatever it makes easier for ordinary people to buy cryptocurrencies is good for the market adoption. And so when our grandparents would be able to buy their groceries with crypto, it would be awesome.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And especially with the bank cards, because when I tell people, you guys can tell me if you get the same kind of sentiment when you chat with your friends. But when I talk to people about crypto, they generally think it's a good idea and they would like to try it. And then once they actually do try it and they realize they have to go through all the tedious process of, as you said, the KYC and everything else we've talked about, then they kind of like get skeptical about it because it's such a difficult technology at the moment for the average person. For example, for your grandma to buy groceries with, right? So absolutely, anything that could potentially make the process easier is great. What are your thoughts on the crypto market after analyzing it with your technology?
We can see currently that it's slowly waking up and probably preparing for next Bitcoin halving. But also we see the strong correlation between what has been said in the social media and then written on the news sites or vice versa. And we can see also there is a bit higher amount of a bigger higher volume of news articles in social media lately, but it's getting some adoption. But currently the market is still, I see it more in like bear market currently.
As in the sentiment is still negative.
Yes.
Yeah. We're gradually recovering. But yeah, it's a process. It's going to take some time, and especially for some of the altcoins out there. William, do you agree with Amir? Is there anything you would like to add?
Yeah, I mean, right now we are there has been actually a growth in the past few weeks with many the main cryptocurrencies. Uh, so it's hard to say, it's crypto, it's always going up and down, but I can see that it's growing more steady. It's I don't think there is going to be so much volatility like there used to be before. But then again, guys, this is a very early technology. It has been only 10 years that cryptocurrency exists. So it's still very early, and there is still a lot of adoption to be made, lots of improvements to be made as well. But I think the most crucial point is to educate people about cryptocurrency, because that's the main obstacle for adoption. Many people, they don't understand, they are scared because they saw some news that it's like a scam, or because it's related to buying stuff on the dark web. So there is still a lot of negative views, and people, they don't really understand how useful this technology is. So it's getting better and better, but there is still lots of improvements to be made.
Yes, absolutely. And I just would like to add myself that both of the our technologies here, both CryptoMood and Indacoin, have done a lot in terms of educating people because I do believe right now the technology is just a little too complicated for the average Joe out there to understand. But as you mentioned, Guilherme, how crypto mood is simplifying, reading 10,000 different signals on the charts to just, looking at an article, seeing a negative, positive sentiment. And Amir, as you pointed out with Indacoin, how they've simplified the buying process and, skip the KYC, all that. It's much easier to educate people when the process is easier itself. And having these kind of two gateways that make the process just much easier. Cut like, a 10-step process into, one or two steps. That's going to be really important to educating people as well. Just making the whole education process easier in general. And I've definitely had a lot of fun using CryptoMood myself. And I'm definitely going to try Indacoin soon as well. So as you can see, I think we can all agree here. This partnership culture as well is best for success. and it's especially in the cryptocurrency community, a lot of us can get tribalistic at times. A lot of us get into this whole, my coin is better than your coin kind of debate. When what we should really be focusing on is advancing our community all as a whole, all together. And this just spirit is more important also in terms of the advancement of crypto. Now, for both of you, why do you think this partnership between CryptoMood and Indacoin is important?
Okay, if I may start, um, I think the cooperation is the key in successful business. So we both focus on our strengths and do the best to move our products forward. So that's it. Like we add our strengths together and we can see the results.
Yeah, exactly. I totally agree with Amir. So, as I mentioned earlier, our businesses complement each other. So, we are not just facilitating and educating people, but we are also, making crypto more accessible for everyone. And I think that's the ultimate goal. And I'm extremely grateful that every day I wake up and it's not just going for a regular job, but I have a vision to put cryptocurrency in a level that has never been seen before.
Yeah, absolutely. And I completely agree. And having experienced both of these, I think we're both doing a lot of things to to drive excitement into the future. In your guys' opinion, what awaits crypto in the future that excites you the most?
Mhm. Interesting question. Um, you mean whole crypto market or some
Yeah,
particular
let's just talk
cryptocurrency?
about let's just zoom out a bit and talk about crypto. Not even necessarily the market, but just like the technology as a
Mhm.
whole. What's the most exciting thing you see in the future for crypto?
Personally, I'm expecting that some governments will in near future bring their own backed cryptocurrencies, for example, as a crypto dollar or crypto yen. And regarding the crypto price and Bitcoin price, we'll see how things are gonna get along with the next halving. So I'm very curious about it, what's gonna happen. But definitely, crypto is the next step in payments and in world of finance. So we believe in crypto. Maybe generally adopted, it wouldn't be a Bitcoin, maybe some other cryptocurrency or some cryptocurrency supported by the government. But the technology is very far, and there is still so many things to do to strengthen the infrastructure and to educate people, as Guilherme said. So we'll see. I'm excited about the future of crypto.
Right. Yeah, I've read some of the stuff about the government-backed cryptos too, and it just really shows you like the most powerful entities in the world are even taking this technology serious. What about you, Guilherme? What do you?
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
I'm definitely very excited as well. And for the short term about crypto, I think the main advantage is that you can move uh, money from one country to another. So there is no borders. It can be from Africa to Asia to South America. It doesn't matter the amount, and the fees are extremely low. So this is a great way to promote international trade between countries and to avoid hassles with the banks when making big transactions. So I think this is like the utility that is the easiest to be applied right now. And another thing that I would like to see is to have more utility on our daily life. So that we could go to any place, to coffee shop, to a restaurant, transport, and pay with the crypto. So we wouldn't have to hold traditional money anymore. And of course, that's related to also governments creating regulations or issuing their own coin. And yeah, for me, that's extremely exciting as the technology itself already has proven to be extremely effective and secure.
Yes. Yeah. I didn't even think about the crypto being a potential sort of catalyst, a medium for global trade. But that is actually a very good point, and who knows just how far this technology can take us. Personally, I just like to quickly add what I'm most excited for is just, as you said, the fact that you can transfer it across borders. And one of the main things that made me passionate about crypto was the investment purposes, like how somebody who was poor, could invest in it and get rich. And I was one of those, those original Moon boys at first. But going through the bear market and everything taught me a lot to look at things from a more technological aspect as well. And you're absolutely right, the potential it could have on a global scale, not just in terms of, all the world's governments, but also even just look at what we're doing in Venezuela. We're fighting poverty. We could potentially even, solve the wealth inequality issue. All the millions of people in the world who are unbanked right now will, potentially have access to a legitimate financial system for the first time, free, of their potentially very corrupt government. So indeed, the future has very exciting things in store. And also, on a side note regarding Indacoin and regarding CryptoMood, I personally see a really bright future of cooperation and sort of growth, evolvement with evolution, I should say, with both of your platforms. I'm just imagining a future where you go to Indacoin, you just see all the crypto move headlines, and just somebody who just wants to buy crypto for the very first time, has no idea what it is, can just go there, look at all the headlines, and then just type in a quick 100 USD, as I see on the website right now, swipe his card, and that's it. No more KYC, no more waiting all this time, no more having to look up all these complicated tutorials. And especially, if we're gonna, help out those more poor countries, it definitely has to be a lot easier. And both CryptoMood and Indacoin have done a lot, and are going to do a lot more, so much more in the future for everything we just talked about. So yeah, that was absolutely exciting future here. So I think that's about it for this episode. Is there any final thoughts that either of you would like to add?
I think it was a very productive talk, and I really enjoyed being here today. Thank you so much. It was a great pleasure speaking with both of you. So I wish you both of you all the best, and especially for cryptocurrency, to the moon.
To the moon, to the moon. And what about you, Amir? Any final thoughts?
Yes, thank you for the interview, for the discussion. It was great, and I fully agree with Guilherme that we are having a bright crypto future. So I'm very excited and very forward to.
Yeah. Great. And thank you both. I had a lot of fun as well. I learned a lot from listening and talking with both of you. If you guys would like to check out CryptoMood or Indacoin, Indacoin is indacoin.com, INDA coin.com, and CryptoMood likewise, CryptoMood, MOOD.com. Check them out, guys. Let us know what you think. Thanks for listening to today's episode of this CryptoMood podcast. We had a lot of fun here. Hope you guys enjoyed it and found it as informative as we did. So thanks again for listening, guys. We will see you all in the next episode.